Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
All right, it is 8:06 on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We've made it to our fourth hour on air, but our 8 a.m. hour. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Patrice Onwuka. I'm here with Andrew Langer, who's sitting in for Larry O'Connor.
This is what you're telling me, Patrice.
Andrew.
Happy Friday. This is what you're telling me is when you do the show with me, 4 hours turns into 8 hours. We age. I see where you're going here.
You know what? Every moment feels like an hour, I guess. Maybe that's how I'm calculating it.
Yes.
But in a good way. Way. All right, Andrew, we've had some really great guests, some really great conversations this morning. If folks missed the early morning discussion about Christmas decorations, I highly recommend you go and download our podcast, our WMAL show podcast, and listen to it. Follow us at Andrew Langer and at Patrice Pinkfile. Andrew shared some of his Christmas decor. You can You can weigh in on whether you like what he's got in his front yard.
My Bucky's inflatable.
And his inflatables. Well, right now we've got Mike Brest. He's here from the Washington Examiner. His story was actually his reporting on Democrats talking about, telling troops to refuse the unlawful orders from President Trump. His reporting was what President Trump actually responded to. Let me play cut 13, and then we'll welcome Mike Brest to talk about this story.
Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
All right, Mike, it was your great reporting on this video that caught President Trump's attention. Were you surprised by that and surprised by President Trump's response? Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I was a little surprised by the president's anger, but again, not really, given that some of the conversations that we're having now seem to be conversations that we've had earlier in this administration as well as during his first administration.
And absolutely. Go ahead, Andrew.
No, I mean, it's just one of those situations where what I find fascinating about the discussion, Mike, is that when pressed to discuss the orders that they might think are illegal and encouraging military service members to refuse, they can't come up with an example. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that that's very telling? I think that's the crux of all of this, isn't it?
So I think, as you mentioned, the vagueness of the video, I think, was intentional. And so they didn't say don't follow an illegal order about X, Y, or Z, or you should be warned about if you're given an order about said subject, it could be illegal. And so troops are given training throughout the entirety of their service about how to distinguish a legal versus illegal order, because they are legally obligated to follow legal orders and legally obligated not to follow illegal orders. So to some extent, it is from their perspective, a simple reminder about that sort of that requirement. But at the same time, there is this unstated question of why did they feel like now was the time that these service members are under pressure, potentially facing an upcoming illegal order. And so, as you mentioned, many of the members who were a part of this video, all of whom served in either the armed services or in the intelligence community, none of them gave a specific example about what they could be referring to. And one of the members who were a part of the video, Congressman Jason Crow, was asked in an interview on television, are you talking about the Venezuelan strikes? Are you talking about potential military action in Venezuela? And he said he denied that there was a connection between the two, which to me was a little surprising, because that was sort of, to me, what came to mind as what they could have been referring to.
Right.
Well, so, I mean, I'm curious about what the implications of this are. What is happening in the kind of the political and the defense worlds? I mean, are you pitting different folks against one another? Are you pitting top brass against each other, particularly those who may not like what the president is doing or his agenda, but are beholden to the commander-in-chief?
I think that's an interesting point, but it should be noted that this is not a new issue. We've had a civilian-run military for centuries, and so the service members, even senior military leaders, still get their orders from civilians, whether that's the president or the civilian heads of each service branch. And so service members are, by law, obligated to follow orders from the civilians who oversee the military. And so to some extent, this isn't very new. However, there are a couple instances currently going on right now that do raise some questions. For example, the president has deployed the National Guard to various U.S. cities for law enforcement duties. And so in the case of the president deploying the National Guard to Washington, D.C., that's an issue that's still going through the courts.
Right.
And so that could be something they could be referring to coming down the road. However, again, their vagueness in the video sort of left it up for interpretation, which I think was why it received such a reaction that it did, because there was this implication that Republicans in particular picked up on, that they're saying, are you really telling them not to follow illegal orders, or are you trying to subliminally tell them that they should be trying to thwart the president's legal agenda?
See, and this is the interesting thing. So, Michael, we talked about this earlier. I was in the middle of expounding on things, and I lost my train of thought. I've caught that train, Patrice. And here's what it is. Could some of this also be because military recruiting numbers are so far up now? We are filling that gap. We're able to actually fill it. There's so many people coming in who are inspired, whether it's by Pete Hegseth or by President Trump himself, to come in and actually give service to the U.S. military. Could this be some kind of a bizarre pushback on that, Mike?
It's hard for me to ascertain exactly why they came up with this video, or why they felt like now was the time for them to do it. But as you mentioned, recruiting has gone up over the last couple of years, specifically since the pandemic, where military recruiting really took a hit when recruiters couldn't be out and about the way they normally do in high schools or at colleges. So recruiting obviously did take a dip. It slowly started to rebound, and the end of the Biden administration has really taken off under President Trump.
Oh, it looks like, do we have you there? Mike, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
It looks like...
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Patrice.
Yeah, it looks like we've lost Mike, but it is okay. Folks can definitely follow his reporting at Mike Brest, BRESTDC, on X, and definitely check out his Washington Examiner reporting.
Listen, I'm gonna go out there and say I think some of this does have to do with the issue of the recruiting numbers, and especially like in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination, and the number of young people who are sort of embracing this approach to national service and love of country, especially as we move towards the 250th anniversary celebration. We're going to get even more of that. By the way, I thank my lucky stars that we have a president and a vice president that love America as we go into the 250th anniversary. But so I'm going to say I think this video is timed because of those news stories.
It wouldn't surprise me. Well, this story is not going to go away anytime soon, and neither will the fallout from it.